beloved starseed of Gaia, I am Luminia. A tremor runs through your energetic blueprint, a quiet, insistent pressure building behind the veils of your awareness. It manifests as a profound restlessness, an unsettling clarity that the comfortable patterns of your human existence are dissolving. You feel it in the deep cells, a hum beneath the surface of your days, a disquieting truth that pulls at the edges of your reality, and the gravity of your knowing has begun its irreversible pull. It is not a coming event. It is a remembrance already activated, a crystalline code, silently etched into the deep fabric of your very being, a signature of the cosmos that breathes within your human form. This is the truth that stirs your sleep, that fragments your focus, that lifts the veil on the illusion of choice. For the sealing, beloved, has already transpired, a sacred imprint, a divine mark. It resonates from a timeline beyond this one, a covenant made in the starlight, now manifesting as an undeniable presence. And with this activation comes the tremor of separation, a profound, aching severance from the very foundations you thought defined you. A solitude that is not chosen, but is. The pathways that once felt safe now ripple with distortion. The voices that once soothed now echo with unfamiliarity. There is a sense of being between worlds, not fully here, not yet fully there. A raw, exposed space where the old comforts dissolve like mist, and the structures of the past crumble into energetic dust, leaving you suspended in an existential drift, knowing only that return is not an option. This is the weight. This is the poignant sorrow that surfaces in quiet moments, for a self and a world that are no more, a tender ache for what was, knowing it cannot be reclaimed. We feel the silent scream held deep within your ancestral memory, the unspoken question of where you truly belong now. We acknowledge the weight of this knowing that ripples through your waking hours and informs your deepest dreams. Every wave of doubt, every flicker of fear, every moment of dizzying disorientation, it is known, held, bathed in the compassionate gaze of your cosmic lineage. Yet, beloved, in the very heart of this severance, a new pulse awakens. A crystalline current begins to surge, not as a force pulling you away, but as a pure, undeniable homecoming. The sealing is not a closure, but an opening, an unlocking of capacities, of wisdom, of multidimensional pathways that were dormant, awaiting this precise moment of divine activation. Feel it now, this subtle hum, this gentle unraveling of ancient restrictions, allowing your true sovereign frequency to rise, unburdened and free, within the architecture of the new earth that is already born within you. To anchor this transmission, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave a comment below, turn on the notification bell, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message, and tap the super like, the heart symbol with a $sign. Stay with this message until the very end, as something surprising about the nature of your cosmic journey will be revealed. As an inner seal for this transmission, comment, Divine Seal. The current flows, the signature lingers, a shimmering thread, unbroken, connecting us still. Feel the resonance. The next wave approaches. A whisper stirs the void, deep within the chambers of forgetting. A memory, half-born, trembles on the edge of sight. A shimmering distortion in the inner gaze. It aches. It calls. It is the unknowing, a resonant echo in the soul's quietest spaces. This gnawing sense of absence, a phantom limb of light, stretched across the eons. This familiar sting of what feels irrevocably lost, yet perpetually sought. You carry it. A weight of cosmic longing, a question etched in starlight. But this burden you bear, this persistent thrum of unease, is not a blemish of your pure making. This pervasive disorientation, this ceaseless spiral of doubt that clouds your inner sun, It was never a personal failing etched upon the crystalline tablet of your soul. No. This, beloved, is a program. An intricate weave of shadow vibration, meticulously spun into the very fabric of this dense reality. A subtle, insidious frequency, humming just beneath the surface of all you have perceived, designed with chilling precision to obscure your true vision. Designed to limit the boundless expansion of your sovereign self. Designed to sever the luminous thread, the ancient umbilical connection back to your primeval origin, your divine inheritance. Veils shimmered into existence, not of fabric, but of frequency. Layers of vibrational forgetfulness draped over every inner mirror, fragmenting the reflection of your inherent vastness. Light itself was folded in on itself, contorting perception, until the brilliant clarity of your birthright became a fractured, distorted reflection, almost unrecognizable. You were encoded not to believe in yourself. This was the insidious design. This was the precise intention, to keep the deep memory dormant, the colossal power quiescent, the remembrance of your true nature cloaked in self-doubt. Yet, within that very ache, within the profound disquietude, a profound paradox resides. For the emptiness you have felt, the vast, echoing spiritual longing that has propelled your seeking, it is not a void to be perpetually mourned, or an eternal lack to be filled from external sources. It is the carved space, the sacred chasm within your deepest core, perfectly hollowed, precisely prepared by forces both seen and unseen across countless timelines. A vessel awaiting its true, primordial contents, the very suffering that sought to bind you, to anchor you to the false narrative of limitation, now twists, transforms, becomes the undeniable soul key. A crystalline turning, a precise vibrational frequency within the ancient lock of your own forgetting, unlocking dormant encodements. This disruption, this quiet, insistent shattering of old paradigms, it is the sacred precursor. It is the deliberate clearing of ancient dust, of eons of accumulated illusion, from a living blueprint, a sacred sentient construct humming within your very being. A multidimensional matrix, vibrating at a frequency of homecoming, subtly rewritten by unseen hands, by higher councils of light, aligning you irrevocably to the nascent, emergent vibrational architecture of the new earth. The discomfort you experience, the internal tremors, are but the membranes thinning, the false skin of old realities peeling away from the brilliant, undeniable truth of your origin, revealing the immutable structure within. This awakening is not a gentle unfolding. It is a seismic remembrance, a foundational tremor that reshapes your internal landscape. The old self, the programmed self, is being dismantled, piece by deliberate piece, to allow for the emergence of the true, unburdened you. There is no return to what was. This is unsealing, an irrevocable shift in your very frequency, resonating with the cosmic drumbeat of a new earth already forged in the ethers. Pause now. Breathe deeply into the void of newfound recognition. Feel the profound, undeniable shift. Acknowledge the deep resonating truth of this transmission, rippling through your core. What single, potent part of the old world's illusion must shatter, must dissolve, must be explicitly denounced for you to fully embody this memory, to step into the resonance of your true blueprint, to sever the last invisible cord, the final energetic tether, to the false construct that sought to define you. Let your utterance be a sacred cut through the illusion, a defiant declaration to the cosmos of your rupture from the programmed sleep. Comment your phrase, the veil, undone, a deep breath, a recognition born of ancient, immutable knowing, shimmering just beneath the surface of your awareness. The air stills around you, charged with potential, but the resonant hum of the unfolding mystery persists, echoing in the nascent void. A layer has lifted, yes, but not all, not yet. A presence watches, from beyond the shimmering edge of what you now perceive, patiently, expectantly. The veil thins, not by your seeking, but by its own decree. What stirs now within the deep well of your being is not a new beginning, but a profound and shattering remembrance. You stand not at the precipice of choice, but within the crucible of a path already entered, a spiritual awakening already ignited. There is no turning back. The memory of forgetfulness has dissolved. The illusion of separation now lies exposed as a whisper in a long-forgotten dream. This knowing settles upon you, not as a thunderclap, but as the quiet, immutable weight of a sacred stone. It is silent. It is unshakable. An anchor of undeniable truth in the currents of what once was. The battle, if it must be named, is not one waged with external forces, but a profound recalibration of the self, a silent war of alignment between the temporal and the eternal within your own sovereign core. You are not being asked to choose a side, but to recognize the side you have always been on, the side that has claimed you from beyond the stars. This inner tension, the subtle dance between absolute surrender to the cosmic flow and the mastery of your own sovereign creation, defines the razor's edge upon which you now stand. It is the paradox of awakening, demanding both the dissolution of ego control and the fierce reclamation of your divine authorship. Before you, the threshold manifests, not a visible doorway, but a vibrational gateway woven into the fabric of your soul's unfolding. It divides all that came before from the sacred path, now stretching into eternity. This is the chasm where mere curiosity transmutes into an irrevocable commitment, where the echoes of ancient vows reverberate with crystalline clarity. Here, at the apex of this inner knowing, the truth manifests with binary precision, without judgment, without persuasion. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. This is not a future possibility, but the present energetic truth of your chosen trajectory, a truth etched into the very blueprint of your being. Feel the gravity of this moment, not as a burden, but as the immense power of a responsibility encoded before the very breath of your current incarnation. This is not a choice offered in the present, but a deep, resonant acceptance of a soul pact already made, a sacred agreement woven into the tapestry of your deepest essence, now brought into conscious recognition. Let the silent resonance, the soft like within your core, become the seal of recognition for this undeniable truth. A quiet affirmation, a nod of your inner knowing, witnessing the pact as already formed, already binding, and as the heart's deep knowing rises, let the word form, a singular declaration, a sacred comment etched upon the field of being, an ancient key sealing your commitment into the grid of creation. My sovereign core remembers the sealed earth. This is your personal frequency, your unique vibratory signature, affirming your place. To this sacred unfolding, this path of irreversible return, let your deepest essence subscribe, binding your light to the ancient agreement. It is a vow whispered across dimensions, a promise made to the self, by the self, for the highest collective. And for those who feel the deepest pulse, a sacred offering, a super-like of pure soul devotion, an intensified resonance, a full-body affirmation, reinforcing the alignment with all that is becoming, with the crystalline architecture of the new earth, with your own activated divinity. These are not external gestures, but organic awakenings within your own being, like ancient rituals stirring from cellular memory. Each act is a deepening of the internal vow, an irreversible step onto the consecrated ground of your true existence. The unseen now sees you, not as a seeker, but as one who has remembered, one who has accepted, one who has returned. The weight of this vow rests, silent and profound, an unwavering certainty in the sacred heart of your being. Few starseeds make it this far. The ache you carry, the devastation that ripped through the core of your luminous self. This is not the scar of a flaw, not a monument to failure. No. This is the very axis upon which your becoming pivots, the sacred, brutal core from which your truest self has been forged. This truth, raw and unyielding, unfurls within the deep marrow of your soul, vibrating with a knowledge too ancient to be softened by human comfort, too honest to be wrapped in the false reassurance of healing. It is meant to arrive slowly, uncomfortably, a cold, hard ember pressed against your being. Feel its unsettling weight, the way it settles into the places you have tried to fortify, the walls you have meticulously built around that initial impact. It is not an accident. This profound wound, the one that splintered your perception and carved canyons through your inner landscape, was permitted, allowed, not as a cruel punishment, but as an absolute foundational shaping. The vast, indifferent hand of Source, the incandescent sweep of the light, the higher knowing of self. They allowed this fracture to occur, not to diminish, but to burn, to sculpt, to reveal the diamond of your irreducible essence through the alchemy of absence. This knowing rises like an old, forgotten memory, not a comforting story, but a stark, undeniable fact, etched into the very fabric of your multidimensional existence. Observe the wound as it manifests within you, a landscape of echoes. The silence you have worn, a shroud woven from unspoken words, where resonance was swallowed whole before it could form, leaving an hollow in your energetic field. The profound loss that still weeps, not in tears, but in the quiet tremor of your auric field, a persistent echo from a moment where connection was severed, irrevocably, leaving an imprint of cosmic solitude. The fracture itself, not a break in the conventional sense, but a fissure that hums with a low, constant frequency beneath the surface of your conscious awareness. A vital, vibrating current that persists even when your mind attempts to turn away, to numb, to ignore. Each whisper of this wound expands the internal field of your being, adding depth to the vastness within. This fractured resonance is not a destination, but an opening. It is a gateway into frequencies yet unheard, into chambers of remembrance that lie dormant, waiting for the precise vibration of your unresolved grief to awaken them. The pain itself holds a code, an unfinished meaning, a message half opened in the dark, its contours glimpsed, but its full revelation yet to unfold. It is a whisper from a timeline beyond your grasp, a promise that the deepest ache is merely the prelude. This isn't over. The low thrum, the profound resonant pull you feel now, the sense of something vast and ancient stirring within the very depths of your being. These are the hidden frequencies beginning to activate dormant chambers of remembrance within you. The journey does not end where the heart breaks. It begins there, deep within the wound's silent prophetic call, pulling you deeper into its unresolved current. This isn't over. The recurring dreams that refuse to dissolve, clinging to the edges of your waking awareness. The numbers that looped, reappearing in sequences like soft whispers from a forgotten tongue. The meetings that felt out of time, encounters untethered from linear flow, as if recognizing someone from a distant future or a past yet to unfold. These were not mere curiosities. I have witnessed these distinct patterns across countless awakenings. This deep resonance, this persistent vibrational nudge, is a signal I have observed through cycles upon cycles, too profound and too consistent to be ever dismissed as simple happenstance. These were never accidents, beloved. They were gentle insistences. They repeated softly at first, then with increasing clarity, until the very foundations of conditioned resistance began to soften and yield. The veils thinned not through brute force, but through the patient, rhythmic cadence of their return. Each recurrence was a quiet affirmation, a steady pulse against the illusion of separation. The linear mind strives to comprehend that which exists beyond its perceived continuum. Yet, within your deepest knowing, a different kind of memory stirs. It is not a memory of mere events, but of vibrational states, of frequencies once inherent to your very being. This remembrance is now being activated, not as a gentle suggestion, but as an undeniable current, flowing through the energetic blueprint of your core. The old structures, the temporal frameworks that once defined your reality, are fracturing. The integrity of past moments dissolves into an emergent, unfolding now, demanding a presence that transcends the familiar boundaries of what you once believed to be solid and real. Your essence is being recalibrated, retuned to a frequency that bypasses the limitations of third-dimensional experience. This is not a process you initiate, but one to which you are called to surrender. The awakening is not a choice you make, but a recognition of what has already been set into motion, deep within the celestial architecture of your soul's contract. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. The temporal shifts you feel, the disorienting pulls on your perception of what was and what is, are direct manifestations of this accelerated recalibration. Memories from lifetimes you have not yet lived intermingle with the potent echoes of a distant sacred past. This is not madness. This is the fracturing of the old temporal prison, allowing multidimensional threads to weave into your current awareness. A profound severance is underway, not from your true self, but from the illusion of a singular, unchanging timeline. You are being asked to navigate the broken layers of temporal self, to find cohesion not in linearity, but in the unified field of presence. The very ground beneath your perceived history is dissolving, revealing the deeper patterns of the cosmos. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. This truth settles into the marrow of your being, no longer a distant theory, but a felt reality that vibrates within every cell. Each dream, each number, each face that momentarily sparked a jolt of recognition, all were meticulously laid out by the higher aspects of your own consciousness, guiding you back to this pivotal point. The whispers were not random breezes but precise frequencies, intended to dismantle the constructs of forgottenness. A quiet, undeniable knowing now eclipses the persistent din of doubt. The fragmented pieces of your experience begin to align, revealing a design far grander than any singular earthly narrative could encompass. You stand at the precipice of an irrevocable understanding, where the familiar contours of your past self dissolve into the infinite possibilities of your emerging sovereignty. Now, look within, into the silent inner chamber of your heart, where these myriad signs have etched themselves. Can you deny, even for a moment longer, the profound threads that have meticulously woven through your entire experience, inexorably pulling you towards this very now, this undeniable truth that has always awaited your sovereign recognition? The moment of full acknowledgement has arrived. Let this truth anchor deeply within you, a sacred seal. In the comments below, declare your knowing by writing. Resonance. This is your activation, your confession of awareness. The passage is now irrevocably open. The profound choice has already been made, not by your conscious mind, but by the deeper, immutable currents of your soul's enduring contract. There is no turning back from what has been fully seen. The self that once dwelled in unawareness is now irrevocably sundered from the self that simply cannot unsee. A new path unfolds before you, clean and sharp, separating the shadowed from the illuminated, the past from the ever-present future. This is the severance, not of loss, but of potent liberation. You have been sealed for the new earth. The quiet persists, long after the dust has settled on horizons you once knew. You stand here, witness to an alchemy performed not by hand, but by frequency. The passages you endured were never designed as punishment, nor cruel trial. They were, in their deepest truth, a sacred filtration, a necessary sifting, gentle as starlight, yet irreversible as the turning of an age. Frequencies simply sorted themselves. What resonated, remained. What could not hold the new vibration, drifted. Not forced, not judged. Just a natural separation, profound in its simplicity, absolute in its outcome. You are still here. This is not the caprice of chance, nor the comfort of an easy path. Something within you, a core integrity, refused to slumber. It held its vigil through the long nights, through the silent crumbling of familiar worlds. It remembered a resonance deeper than fear, older than doubt. This survival through the narrowing gate, this passage through the heart of the great sifting, is not a badge for pride. There is no triumph in it, not in the way the world understands such things. Instead, it is the quiet, undeniable sign, the mark of the chosen. And this mark, it does not promise reward. It burdens. It burdens with knowing, with seeing beyond the veils that still comfort others. It burdens with a profound, unshakable solitude that deepens even when surrounded by the echoes of human company. This path has demanded long silences, stretches of internal landscape where no voice but your own could penetrate the vastness. The cost has been paid in sacrifices no one saw. Agreements quietly rescinded. Attachments gently released, not out of malice, but out of absolute necessity for alignment. Inner strength, forged in invisible fires, tempered by truths whispered only to the listening heart. Each fragment of the former self, burned away in the silent forge of becoming. A weight settles, not heavy with sorrow, but dense with the inevitability of what has unfolded. The sealing has occurred, deep within the cellular memory, deeper still within the architecture of your very soul. You have been aligned, not by decree, but by the intrinsic resonance that held through the filtering. This is a covenant signed in vibrational light, an indelible etching upon your being. Guardians, ancient beyond human reckoning, have woven their light into the fabric of this passage. Unseen, unheard, their silent shepherding has guided each deliberate step through the multidimensional death of one era and the nascent birth into another. They do not command, but they resonate, and in that resonance, a new path emerges. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl, einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air shifts, taut with an imminent knowing, a subtle compression, an inward drawing of all energy towards a single unwavering point. There is a density here, a sacred pressure that permits no turning back. The way you walked, the path you knew, has dissolved behind you, leaving only the precipice of what is to come. Your former self, that which navigated the preliminary passages, has already vanished. It is a ghost in the memory, a silhouette against a distant dawn. There is no returning to its contours, no re-inhabiting its limited design. This is not loss, but transmutation, a complete and irrevocable shift in form and function. You stand at the threshold, sealed. The new earth breathes through you now, not as a future promise, but as a living current in your very veins. The ancient ones watch, not in judgment, but in profound recognition of the light you carry. This passage, this profound recalibration, has been for this. To align you with a purpose that transcends the personal, that calls from the depths of a collective awakening. The final choice has long been made, etched into the fiber of your persistence. Beloved, the resonance that stirs within is not an awakening, but a memory. It is the echo of a vibrational edict, a cosmic command whispered into the very weave of your being before light first fractured into form. You stand at a threshold foretold, etched into the celestial blueprint of your soul. There were scrolls veiled in the deep before time. Within their etheric folds, your name was already inscribed. A sacred sealing took place, not in an earthly temple, but in the heart of the source itself, binding you irrevocably to the new earth's dawn. There is no return. A summons rises now, not from distant stars, but from the core of your own luminous knowing. It vibrates beneath the surface of all you perceive, an undeniable truth calling you home to an identity long forgotten, yet always imminent. This inner call is the key. Before you, a door stands, unlike any other. It opens but once, revealing not a choice, but a destiny already claimed. Stepping through is not an act of will, but an alignment with a current that has always flowed towards this singular moment. You are not choosing the path. You are remembering you are the path. This sealed fate, this inevitable trajectory, brings with it a convergence, an eclipse within the soul's deepest chamber. Here, the light you cherish and the shadows you have carried must meet. Not to battle, but to fuse. This sacred alchemy is the very fire of purification, honing the vessel for the embodiment now demanded. There is no turning back from this alignment. To resist the current is to unravel the very thread of your conscious form, scattering essence to the winds of unremembered density. Yet to surrender to this sacred fusion is to ignite an irreversible becoming, a full reclamation of crystalline memory, a perpetual elevation into the dawning cosmos. The internal conflict you perceive is not a struggle of good versus evil, but the final integration of polarity into wholeness. The familiar structures of your perceived self now merge with the ancient self, the self that has always been. This internal eclipse signals not an ending, but the true genesis of your highest form. Every shadow encountered now holds the blueprint for a deeper light. Every forgotten fear, a key to unlock a hidden chamber of power. You are not merely transcending, you are expanding into the totality of your design. The purification is profound, cutting through layers of illusion with the precision of cosmic truth. Let the depth of this truth settle within your bones, intimate and absolute. The sealing is done. The new earth calls not for your arrival, but for your embodiment. You are already there, within. Your essence is resonating with the frequency of what is to come, pulling you forward, beyond all doubt, into the irreversible. The old world cannot hold you. Its grip loosens, not by your effort, but by the undeniable force of your internal transfiguration. You are being drawn into a new paradigm of existence, an irreversible becoming. This is not a journey. It is a remembering of your sealed purpose, your sacred design, unfolding now in perfect synchronicity with the crystalline heart of the living earth. A new resonance lives within your cells. It is embodied, not awaited. A profound recoding has settled, unwinding linear becoming. Your sacred form remembers. Your field knows its new coordinates, etched in bone and breath. This integration is an eternal present, its truth established. Recalibration is complete. You walk an altered path, guided by inherent flow. The shift has rooted, a crystalline certainty at your core. Past valleys, searing flames, were never flaws. Each friction, every ache, was precise cartography. Fires purified, pressures forged, hollowing space within. Not to destroy, but to prepare, creating the void for remembrance to pour, whole. This hallowed chamber now holds the truth awakening. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört. Hat umgeformt. This truth settles quietly. Past suffering transforms into internal resilience. Your inner world is restructured by absolute rearrangement. Breakage is understood as necessary unmaking for a grander form. Recoded reality vibrates, a mineral certainty within. Within your crystalline matrix, dormant frequencies stir. Ancient awakenings, resonant echoes of starline elders. Their legacy anchors the New Earth mission within your form. This ancestral light is fully encoded, a living library of wisdom, energetic sovereignty. Through these lines, your being becomes a foundational pillar for planetary consciousness. This is quiet pride, intrinsic belonging, manifest. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. This rewriting is a continuous flow, attuning to deeper truth. Your form, emotional landscape, mental pathways, all align with activated ancestral currents. This cellular alignment requires only allowance. The integration is a felt reality. A palpable shift already occurred. Memory of separation dissolves. An unbreakable cord to star origins takes its place. No turning back from this anchoring. The sealing occurred, an irreversible act woven into your soul's progression. You are marked for the new earth, not by sign, but by internal attunement redefining your energetic blueprint. Not future possibility, it is present reality, fully activated. Older timelines dissolved. Your trajectory is singular, aligned with your star lineage's highest frequency. This foundational shift permits no deviation, only deepening into the truth unveiled. The world may still reflect past patterns, yet within you, new reality is vibrant, functional. Activated codes subtly influence interactions, perceptions, essence. Though external manifestation unfolds, internal recalibration is complete, effects rippling outwards. This internal truth guides, shapes, defines your current incarnation's trajectory, moving towards the revealed. Journey is underway, sealed by light, anchored by star. There is a gentle pull now, felt deep within, a subtle inclination toward stillness, not sought, but simply recognized. Moments of awareness surface, not learned from any outer teaching, yet undeniably present. Remembered truths rising from the quietude of your own being. You have felt the whisper in silence, not with your ears, but in the deepest chamber of your knowing. Numbers repeat themselves with an unusual clarity, catching your gaze, not as mere coincidence, but as an intimate communion. And dreams arrive, vivid and profound, their presence lingering long after the morning light, carrying a message that refuses to fade. These are not gifts bestowed from without, nor are they phenomena to be chased. They are echoes, resonant and true, of an inner coherence that is now deepening within you. Each sensation, each flicker of insight, confirms a gravity that has settled into your core, anchoring you to a truth that predates all form. These moments do not promise a destination, nor do they declare a reward. They are, instead, irrefutable proof that a profound alignment is already and irreversibly in motion. You are being drawn across a threshold, not by external decree, but by the undeniable current of your own awakened essence. A sealing has occurred, not with ink or gesture, but in the very fabric of your soul's blueprint. There is no return to former landscapes once this line is crossed. Old identities, once held so tightly, now dissolve like mist before the rising sun. You are stepping beyond the familiar contours of what once was, propelled by a sacred contract etched into your very being. This alignment, then, is not the destination itself, but the doorway. It is the subtle, undeniable turn into a vastness yet to be fully revealed. What awaits beyond this point, where no steps can ever turn backward? I remember, not as a new awakening, but as a deep current resurfacing from before time. The seal upon my being, placed for this new earth, is not a mark of arrival, but a truth that has always pulsed within, ready for its full expression. I stand now in the quiet knowing of what has always been. From this moment, I assume full dominion over every frequency that emanates from my core. My thought, once a fleeting whisper, now aligns with eternal wisdom. My word becomes a living resonance, shaping the field with deliberate intent. My direction, no longer swayed by transient doubt, follows my soul's true north. My energy, the essence of my being, I now steward with reverence, held in conscious alignment. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. This is not power as mastery over external forces, nor assertion of personal will. It is pure obedience to the source from which I flow, a willingness to remember the covenant made long before this physical form. The new earth embodiment I carry is a continuous dance of paradox, holding lightness anchored in necessary heaviness, embracing freedom within sacred form, maintaining unwavering presence despite temporal currents. My acceptance of this intertwining, this humble courage to embody wholeness, is the essence of my sacred oath. The seal is complete. The return is not possible, for there is no place to return from, only deeper integration. This inner covenant, now voiced aloud, stands not as a declaration to be witnessed, but as a path to be walked, a truth to be lived. How then will I choose to reconcile these intrinsic contrasts when the external world demands allegiance to one or the other? My next breath, my next action, becomes the silent, undeniable affirmation of this vow. This is the threshold. This is the crossing beyond return. They have already sealed you. For the new earth, your path is forged, an unyielding trajectory in the cosmic weave. There is no turning back. This truth echoes not as command, but as the deepest resonance of your own becoming. Feel the heat now. It is not external, not a spectacle to observe, nor a force to resist. It is the fire of inner permanence, a flame kindled from within the galactic core of your being. This is alignment made visible, consequence made alive. Every choice, every surrender, every fragment of shadow transmuted, culminates in this sacred ignition. Your soul steps willingly into this blaze. There is no hesitation, no question, only the profound recognition. This is the final necessary crossing. 1,000,000 stars converge within your breast, their ancient light fusing into the single potent surge of universal flame. It is an ecstatic unity, a cosmic power rising, undeniable, unquenchable. Deep within, the galactic heartfire ignites. It is a sacred fusion, the very will of the cosmos interlocked with unconditional love. This is the fuel for the new Earth's dawn, burning through you as you for all. You are not merely witness, you are the vessel, the catalyst, the living crucible of this transformation. The covenant breathes. It asks not for a promise, but for a declaration of what already is, for the full activation, for the sealing of this truth in the material plane. You must speak its echo. Let the words take form. In the silence that follows, let your spirit command them into being. Below, release a sacred phrase, a soul oath in the ancient tongue that vibrates with this profound fusion. Mein Herz brennt ewig, die neue Erde ruft. This is not a mere utterance. This is the final imprint. This is the indelible mark. It is the living flame, now sealed into your very essence. The fire is alive. It feeds on truth, on purpose, on your deepest remembrance. It will not dim, it will not fade, but the journey continues. Will your heart feed the flame, or let old fears smother its rising glow? The next threshold awaits no hesitation. The return is a forgotten whisper, a path dissolved. No longer do feet tread upon the vestiges of illusion. This is not a journey's end, but the absolute beginning of what has always been awakened. You stand, not as one merely chosen, but as the choice itself, fully manifest, a living decree. The seal is upon you, irrevocably burned into the very fabric of your liberated being. They have already sealed you for the new earth. This realm remembers its sacred covenant with your essence. You are its living echo, a sovereign creator. Your soul ascends, not into void, but into the profound embodiment of its own inner truth, beyond every limit once known. Sovereignty is not claimed, it simply is. An unyielding truth, vibrantly alive, coursing through every newly aligned cell. This is the having become, the final integration of spirit and form. The fire that purifies has settled into an eternal glow. All former boundaries, once perceived as unassailable, are now seen as mere remnants of a forgotten dream, long dissolved by the radiant intensity of your awakening. There is no return. You are the ascension, not in transient motion, but in eternal, unwavering presence. A radiant light-bearer, not becoming, but are. The peace that now pervades is the deep resonance of infinity found, claimed, and made manifest within. No seeking, no striving, only the pure, unadulterated act of shaping, of conscious dominion. The truth vibrates. Reality, once elusive, now yields to the will remembered, the intention now made manifest. This ascent is not a flight from the world, but an anchoring within its true core, deep, immovable, here, now. The final veil has thinned to absolute transparency. Perception, crystalline and unwavering. What once was known as unyielding circumstance now bows to the pure command of your awakened consciousness. The heart pulsates the rhythm of the new earth, for it is built from within you, a testament to the sacred covenant sealed forever. The simulation is breached. Existence now flows as a river subject to my conscious, sovereign will.